recording. All right, and welcome all. For the next 45 to 60 minutes, we are going to be talking about creating interactive resources within Boardmaker 7. My name is Tina Voisey. I'm the one in the middle there, surrounded by all my lovely colleagues, account managers on the Tobii Dynavox UK team. Despite the accent, I'm actually based in the UK. I'm in Kent, 17 years, and I haven't lost this accent, not for the lack of trying. I'm the education manager, pardon me, for Tobii Dynavox in the UK and Ireland. I am a teacher by training. I have been working for the past 16 years in the AAC and assistive technology field here in the UK. And I support our awesome team of account managers who are out and about helping our customers all over the UK. In this session today, we've got John Little with me. So he's going to be manning the chat and supporting us all as we go through and look at creating interactive resources. But just want you to know that the account managers are there to support you. This is a taster session. It's to get you started, to help you understand the possibilities. It's really this lovely crew of people who can help you to really get in there and do more, as well as help you with demonstrations, more personalized training, assessments, hardware, all that kind of great stuff. So we will share their contact information with you after this session so you can reach out to them directly. So today we are going to talk about interactive resources. We are going to talk about how we can turn, the paper-based stuff that we've been creating with Boardmaker Online, some of us for decades, into something that's a bit more dynamic, that people can access using tablets and alternative forms of access methods, whether it's to become more engaging for them, whether it's to support them from a distance, or to give them access if they can't, reach out and grab that piece of paper, rip that card off the Velcro. So that's what we're going to look at for the remainder of this session. So we're going to do that by looking at the three different elements of Boardmaker 7. The editor. We're going to look at that mainly today and how that is going to support you in the creation of resources. But then also how you need to check in to myBoardmaker, which is an online account, which is going to let you assign these resources out to people. And then the student center, which is going to let your caseload, your learners, access what you've made. So within the editor today, we are going to see how you can create and edit interactive resources. And we're going to have a big focus on the templates. We've got lots of templates for creating interactive resources, and they are the quickest and easiest way to get going. So you can also play from the editor. So if you've got a group around you, you're connected to an interactive whiteboard, we'll see how you can play these interactive resources. But for those who have a Boardmaker Online, a Boardmaker 7, pardon me, this is all new to us. We only launched Boardmaker 7 a couple of weeks ago, so I got to break habits. So any of you who have a Boardmaker 7 subscription will automatically get a myBoardmaker account. And this is where you can go in and manage your learners' accounts. So manage access for those that you're supporting, and then assign the work that you've created to them. And once you have assigned it and they start playing, this is also where you can see all the data that's collected. So how they're interacting with the resources that you have assigned to them. And you assign these resources to your learners through the Student Center. And this is going to give them access to play what you've created. And we're going to unpick all of this, spending most of our time in the editor, but giving you a good introduction to myBoardmaker and Student Center so you can get up and start working with interactive resources tomorrow. So let's talk a little bit about the editor. It is available for Windows, Mac, and Chromebook, so you can install it on any three of those operating systems. It has over 150 interactive templates, a lot more for print, but 150 interactive templates, which are all pre-programmed. So they'll do all the singing and dancing and reacting and working with different access methods without you having to do anything other than input some content. You also can create, really good personalized content by bringing in your own photographs, your own sounds, your own videos to really make this right for your learners. it is fully accessible. So you'll be able to use interactive resources with eye gaze, switch, mouse, touch enter, touch exit. And you are able to make things from scratch with interactive things from scratch with Boardmaker 7. We're not going to focus on that today. We are going to look at the templates because it is the quickest way to get going. But do look for future webinars where after you get your head around things, if you really want to start creating from scratch, we can dig in as to how you do that. Now, the wonderful thing about the 150 templates plus that we give you for creating interactives, that I honestly believe with these templates and some of your ideas that you have unlimited possibilities for creating interactive resources. One of my favorite sections is the graphic organizers. We've got lots of different mind maps and webs like this. Just with a little bit of imagination, I can use one of these mind maps to support communication. Let's talk about this core word go. Where are we going to go? We're going to go to the park. We're going to go away. We're going to go home. We're going to go on the bus. So lots of resources to support communication, as well as behavior. So taking a template again in the graphic organizers, just applying some content. And here I've got a great strategy to support somebody who is needing some self-calming techniques. So what are things that you can do when you're feeling upset or stressed? Here are some ideas. We can support learning by taking these templates and putting in curriculum content that our learners can access, help bring things to life when they're learning about the Vikings, plants, planets, you name it. You put the content in and it works beautifully. And lastly, just supporting independence. So taking something like this graphic organizer, maybe supporting somebody to advocate for themselves, to help them be more independent throughout a process or their day. There's lots of different ways that we can use these templates. It's just you putting your ideas to them and off you go. And I'm going to show you how to do all of this in the session. So with the interactive templates, we have a guide, and I'm going to send you links to everything in the follow-up. The guide is jam-packed with ideas. It gives you a sample of all the templates, and they really will vary from art activities and books to creating visual scenes and having some exploration through concepts. You can also go in and play games. You can do matching and labeling activities. You can do maths from counting to all different kinds of graphs, as well as visual schedules and supports. And these are just a few of them. And the template guide will give you an idea of what templates are available, what they look like, what types of variations we have of said template, and also some implementation ideas. But again, the sky's the limit. You put your ideas to it, your creativity to it, and you can use it in any way you like. Now, the templates are mainly what we call edit in place templates. So you've got a bunch of boxes that are going to behave a certain way. You just quickly edit, put information into those boxes, and they work. There are a few which work a little bit differently. These are called table-based templates. And you can see them in the template picker because the thumbnail shows a little green play button, which will show you that the editing for these is a little bit different. For our end users, they're the same. They are all singing, all dancing, all accessible. It's just for us as the editors in creating them that it's a little bit different. And I'm going to take you through both of these processes in this session. Now, you also have access to activities settings. So in the Scratch the Surface, we can go in and put our information in and it'll work beautifully. But sometimes we might want to dig a little bit deeper. We might want to change some of the supports, the auditory supports people are hearing. We may want to change whether it's something that auto corrects or whether somebody goes through it and at the end it's marked. There's lots of bits and pieces that are like in the inside that we can go in and change. And I'm going to show you how to do that as well in the session. So I'm going to stop the PowerPoint and get into Boardmaker 7 editor and show you how you can take these templates and fill them with your ideas and activities. While I change my screen share, John, is there any questions, anything that I need to address?
Not that I can see that.
Please feel free, thank you. Please feel free at any time to chat in your questions. So when you think of something, chat it in, and we'll take pauses for me to answer those questions throughout the session. Think of something, write it down. Okay, so what I've done here is I've just gone to my Boardmaker editor and I've clicked it to launch. If I have a standard Boardmaker 7 license, so I purchase it to put it on however many specific computers I want to, then it will open up because I've put a license key to that. If I have a Boardmaker 7 subscription, then I log in to any computer that I have installed Boardmaker 7 editor onto, and that's unlimited if you have a subscription. So you just sign in and out to allow use of that Boardmaker 7 editor installation. When I open it up, the first thing I see is my most recently created or recently used activities. So you can play activities right from this dashboard. So if I want to go in and go right into a sorting activity, I can choose whether I'm going to edit it or I can choose to play it. And when I click on play, it's going to open up and then I can engage in this activity either to remind myself
That's right. Pig belongs in animals on the farm.
as to how it works or to use it with a student or students that are sitting right there with me. Did my sound come across the computer, John?
Yeah, yeah, Scottish voice, I think it was.
Yeah, it is. Okay, great. Thank you. Um, so we can go ahead and play anything we've created. I'm going to go right now into new because I want to show you how I've created all of these resources. So new is going to bring up our template picker. So it's gathering all the different templates, both print and interactive. It first opens up to my most recently used templates. So I was making some communication boards earlier. I might want to keep making them for different topics. I can open them up quickly. I also can start with blank. So for printed, you can start with portrait or landscape, interactive. It's our screen, so we can start to create things from scratch. We have a very large bank of printable templates. There's over 400 there. And we have other webinars where we get into print because today we're going to focus on interactive. So here I can scroll through and see all of the resources, all of the templates that are available to me, but I can also use the subcategories here. Something to note is you'll see at the top, you can toggle to different languages. So it is worth looking at the UK templates because they will, like with calendars, reflect instead of Thanksgiving in November, you're going to get bonfire night and Remembrance Day. When we go to maths, you're going to have money that shows pounds and pence versus dollars and cents. So they have gone through and localized the template to be right for language as well as content. So do make sure that you toggle to UK. What I'd
Can I
like to
jump
do,
in? Oh, can I
yeah, go
jump in
ahead.
with a quick question? Just because you
Sure.
mentioned it earlier about signing in. Anna was asking, do you have to remember to log out once you've finished, or would it do it automatically?
It will do it after a certain amount of time. So it's not going to log you out immediately. But if you do go to log in somewhere else and you haven't been logged out, you will get a prompt that will allow you to say, yep, I want to use it here, save what's open on my other computer and let me work on this one. So
So if
we
you're
will put
using a shared computer, then it's worth remembering to log out. Otherwise, the next person might end up creating resources under yours by mistake. Yeah.
yes, absolutely. If you are using a shared computer, then you do want to sign out so people don't have access to your resources or mess up any of the work that you've done unknowingly. Yep,
Thank you.
great. Thank you. So we can go through and I'm going to do some resources for matching. So you can see here, I've got the ones with the green triangle, the green play button. So I know that these are table based. These are going to edit a little bit differently from the edit in place templates, which is where I'm going to start and which is the majority of our templates. They are what we call edit in place templates. So I'd like to do a matching where I want to draw the line. If I want to check out how it works, see what it's like in action, I can select from sample down here. And what that's going to do is give me an error message. Okay, let's try another one and see if we're going to get that. I'm having some kind of problem. So I should be able to play and it will show me from sample. Let me go because I have a feeling, and I apologize for that. It's only been out a couple of weeks and we are working out a few teething problems. So let me select from sample. Sorry, I had to do it in US. I'm going to flag that to the team. So now I have this in a populated format. So I can press play right up here, which is going to allow me to see how this works. So I can go in and what happens if I click on head
Head,
here and then I click on head there.
hat. That's right.
If I want to test it out to see how it works with a different access method, I go into my 3 little lines up here and I can go into user setting and then I can go into play mode and I can choose different access methods to see how things will work with if I'm a mouse user, if I'm a switch user, eye gaze user. Right now, eye gaze isn't popping up because I don't have a tracker linked to this
Legs,
computer.
pants.
So I can
That's
go
right.
through and see how this works. And if I'm happy with it and it's what I want to work with, I can either just go in and start editing this or return to dashboard to get it as an empty template. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll show you later how easy it is to edit an already populated sample. But I'm going to go to new and show you the experience from an empty template. And this time I think it was just the sample that we were having a problem with. So let me try and open again. I'm going to toggle that to UK and go to matching and open this one. And this time I'm going to create, which is going to give me an empty template. So it was just the sample that was working. Wasn't working. I apologize. So, this little red writing all around here is for me as the editor. It's telling me to add your pairs to the buttons in the left and right columns. Buttons will automatically be shuffled when the activity is played. Blank buttons will automatically be hidden. So these are all things I need to take a moment and read. Otherwise, I might do work that's unnecessary. So what I'd like to do is populate these with some CVC words, so consonant, vowel, consonant words. I'm going to edit in place. So I'm clicking in the button, typing, pressing return on my keyboard, which is going to initiate a symbol search. It is the fastest way to find symbols in Boardmaker 7. So it's automatically advancing to the next empty box. If that is the symbol I want, the first symbol that's got the green box around it, I can just press return again and it will automatically populate it. So cat, mat, bat. So now it's searching for those symbols. Do a couple of more. Hat. And let's do one more. Bat, cat, mat, hat, and sat. Nope. Sorry, I didn't click it. Sat. Nope, and I typed it too many times. Sorry. Fumbly fingers. End of the day. You will notice, for those of you who've been using Boardmaker online, we have made some changes to the symbol finder. So it's looking for the word sat anywhere within a label. So you can see that there's 158 results. Now it is looking for sit, a form of sat. So that's why I'm getting those symbols for sit at the beginning, but it will keep that label that I chose. As I go down, you'll see things like dissatisfied are in there because SAT, those 3 letters are within that label. I can go in and find words that begin with those letters, that word as a whole, or words that end with those letters. So that could be really interesting if I'm doing some literacy work and I'm working on specific rhymes or specific onset sounds. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put letters. I'm not going to press the enter key to initiate a symbol search because I just want to put the letters here. Now, I want to make this a little bit more difficult for my learners. I don't want them to see the words here. So what I'm going to do is just click and drag over these buttons to highlight them. So I've just used my mouse to click and drag. And then over here on the right-hand side, I will use the Properties panel. So this is how I change the appearance of any button or buttons that I've selected. Right at the top, I can see this button here is going to let me choose where the symbol is in relation to the word, as well as choosing just to have a symbol itself. So that's what I've chosen because I want to hide that label. Now I'm going to highlight these because I would like to make the font different. We have a lot more fonts than we had for those of you who've been using Boardmaker online. So a lot more fonts to choose from. I can make the font much bigger. I can also do all kinds of different things with the alignment. I can change the color of my background of my buttons, as well as the border, as well as the symbol, sorry, the font size and shape as well. So I can go through and make all these changes. And I can also change the text at the top. So anything that's populated, if you click on it and just start typing, it will overwrite it. So I'm going to say match the letter to the word. Okay. So now it's time to play it and see how it works. So I press the play button here and it's going to give me a preview. We can see it did indeed shuffle those answers, and then I can give it a go
Sat.
where I've got sat and see how it works.
S. That's right.
Okay. I have the print button on this exercise. So afterwards, after I finish it, I can press the print button and it will send it to a PDF. So I have a record of the work that I've done. I'm going to go in and save this now. So I'm going to save this as a CVC match. Oh, I already have an activity. Sorry, obviously I do this. So CVC, let's call this match 2. There we go. And save that. Now that is the experience with the majority of our interactive resources that edit in place, click, type, return to find your symbols. I am going to show you a table-based template next, which acts a little bit differently. But before I do that, are there any questions, John, that I need to address?
Can't see any in the chat.
Thank you. Something to note for those of you who are making interactive, but maybe you want a paper-based backup, you can click on Create PDF, and it will create a PDF, so a printable version of this interactive resource. And as you can see, it made the red writing disappear. So it's just something that we can print out. So if you are supporting somebody who is using a low tech with high tech, then you can print for both and use it for both purposes. So that's pretty cool. All right, I'm going to return to the dashboard here. That's going to take me back to where I started. And I'm going to click New again to get that template finder. And this time I'm going to go back to matching. And I'm going to choose one of those matching activities that is table-based. So I will go to Match. And I'm going to take one of these. Now, some of our files actually have really long names. So if you just hover over it, I can see Find the Pairs Matching Game. This is Find the Pairs Memory Game. So you can go through and see the longer file name if I just hover. So I'm going to go on this one, the matching game, and I'm going to select from sample again. So that you can see how it works. Okay, so it's opening up as a table. So it's not giving me that template to just go in and start editing straight away. So I'm going to click on Try It so I can see how this works. So I have to press
Match
play.
each word to the letter it starts with.
Okay, so I'm matching word to letter. So very similar to what I
Map.
just did, just a little bit of a different layout.
M.
So now that I see how it works, I can choose stop.
What would you like to do now?
I want to stop. Yes, I'm sure I want to exit. So it brings me back to the table, which now is going to allow me to go in and edit the contents. So here you see, we call it table based because that's what opens, is this table which I edit. So the item list is edit contents, and you'll see a short description. Enter the list of up to 10 pairs of pictures for the game here. Now this is going to vary from activity to activity, but make sure you read the descriptions. So actually, this is very similar to what I want to do, very similar to what I did before. So I can see here the item is the letter. And so that's item 1, so I'm getting the letters on one card. There's no picture or sound. Item 2 is its match. So I just want to edit this. I'm going to go back to my CVC words. Instead of B, I want to do bat. Or maybe I don't want to have that label. Maybe I'm just going to actually take that label off because instead what I'd like to do is just have the symbol. So very similar to the one that I did earlier where we were just matching symbol to letter. So I'm just going to go in. I don't want D because dat isn't a word. And I'm going to change the dog to hat and do my search. Now we can also bring in our own images, and we do have integrated web searches as well. So here, let's do sat. Now, if I have an image of, actually, let me do one more. And sat is a hard one to find online. Let me think of another one. So what if I have hat, bat, mat, sat? Let's do mat. So I'm going to go delete this. And now what I'd like to do is have a very festive Christmas doormat. Now it's looking for door and mat. It's pulling out the symbols from what I've typed in there. But what I'd rather do is go and click on web and have it initiate a internet search. So then I can find like a festive doormat to put into my activity. If I had a photograph that I have on my computer, I can go from my file and I can go and find my pictures, and then I can bring in any images that I might have, like Christmas cookies or whatever it is that I want to bring in. So I'm just going to go in, and now that I've done these, I'll just delete these so that you can see how it's going to work. So I'll just delete these really quickly. And that's it. Select, I don't want a symbol. Let me go in and select, no symbol. Sorry. And then get rid of these, get rid of that. I don't know how many more I have. I might just leave it. Taking too much time. All right, we'll just leave those. So now I'm going to save, and we'll also find other things within the table. So do I want to show the cards face up? Or do I want to make it more like a memory game where things are turned over and I have to reveal them? Do I want to show the label? Do I want to speak the label? Do I want instruction texts? Do I want a stop button, highlight things? So there's lots of different things that I can add within this and you can have a play with. Actually, I didn't have to delete all those labels. I think if I had done it there, let's see, if I say no, we can see the ones that I didn't edit. And if I want the label spoken or not. Let's do that. So once I think I've got it the way I want, and I could go in, change my font. Let's do that to make it something. Show you. Let's do Comic Sans, and we'll make it a bit bigger there. Save. Now I can try it and see how it works. Save changes. All right. And now let's play. Okay. Let's see how this works.
Match each word to the letter it starts with.
Okay, I didn't have to delete all those letters. These are the ones I didn't change. So that was silly me not knowing this template well enough. So it took all the labels away from me, and now I can go in and see how this works. So let's do. Great. So really straightforward. You won't find as many of the table-based ones as you
What
do
would you like to
with
do now?
the edit in place. When you reopen, it will reopen to the table. So if you decide you want to change anything, you can go in and change it right then and there. So I'm going to just cancel this and return to my dashboard. Do you wish to save? No.
Got a quick question if now's a good time.
Yeah, go for it.
So Catherine was asking, going back when you were talking before about, I suppose it's the difference between printing the results and printing, creating a PDF. So Catherine was asking, when you print the resource, does it print with the link lines on?
Does it print with the link? Oh, let's play right from here and we'll take a look. So this is, I don't think it was.
I think it was, you know, when you did the create PDF.
That's a really good question. Let's do that now. So if I do Matt to Matt.
Matt. That's right.
And then let's print all these.
H. Hat. That's right. C. Cat.
Let me just
That's
make sure
right.
that let's do all of them.
B.
What happens if I do the wrong one?
Sat. Sorry, that's not a match.
Okay.
B. Bat. That's right.
And I will show you something else about the user settings.
S.
So if we want to allow our
Sat.
learners to make
That's
a mistake,
right. You
now
matched all of the items.
if I click on print, it's going to show me the end result.
I think as well, if you use that create PDF option, which you were saying would be great for a low tech person to do it, then it won't print with the lines or the red instructions.
It didn't print with the lines. When I clicked on that, it shuffled it, but it didn't print it as lines. So it printed it as a take it out and draw the lines in. So if I'm creating this for a number of different level learners, and I've got some who need to use this with a switch and others who can draw the lines, I don't have to make it twice.
That's really good. So you've basically got, you know, the ability to print those results or print somebody's low tech paper-based activity, haven't you?
Yes. Yep. And what it's not showing me right now, obviously with the print, is that I did have to go twice to get, I think it was SAT that I made a mistake on. It's not showing me that, but it will when we put it through the Student Center and use data tracking. Now, what I can do is, let me go into edit mode because I just put that on play. What I can do with many of the activities, so this is the one I just created, I'm going to click on edit, is I can go into the user settings for an activity and change the way it plays. So I'm going up here in the top left-hand corner and I'm going to user settings. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm lying. I'm going to activity settings. Pardon me. It is the end of the day. So I'm going to go to activity settings here. And now that table that we saw in the table-based activities opens up even for our edit in place. And this is where I can do a little bit of a deeper dive as to the innards of the template, if you will. So here we can say it's in quiz mode. It's not in quiz mode. So that's when it's correcting yes or no. I want you to see what happens if I put it to yes. Let's change the label. And I can also change the feedback at the end. So if I'm only making this for one learner, John, you did an outstanding job. There we go. So now I can save that. And now watch the difference when I press play. It's going to not correct me when I make mistakes. It's going to let me through, which I think makes more sense with being able to print the results. So here, John's really not doing very well here, but let's see.
Well, let's see what the feedback says, because I think it's going to tell me I did outstanding.
There's no way to say only give him outstanding if he gets them all. So now I'm going to check my answers and it's showing. So now if I print this, you'll see the results.
Oh,
Sorry about that, John. And I think as I said, what will happen when I press play? Oh, it's not saying you did an outstanding job because I'm not in quiz mode. It only says the feedback after you're in when you're not in quiz mode and you're doing self-correcting. So
You reached the end of this activity.
Cool. So how's everybody feeling with that? I could go on and show you so many more templates because there's so much you can do, but I really would like to show you how you create your student accounts and assign all of this. But if there's any pressing questions before I get out of the editor, please feel free to speak now. Chat in now.
Sorry, I've unmuted myself because I didn't know how to actually.
That's fine.
Sorry, how to actually type what I was going to type. Right. You know, on the book templates.
Yes.
Yeah. You used to put your stuff in your book templates and then it would bring up like symbols that went along with the story.
Yep.
I went into a book template and created a book. And what I have now is, do you like this? Do you not like this? I haven't got the symbols as I go along. Is there a template that still does that? Because my God, it was brilliant.
Yes, it is brilliant and it's still there. So is that Jill? Sorry, I don't have my chat up.
Sorry, yes, it is me. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So yes, Jill is referring to the book templates, which are fantastic. So we can go into any of these, and you know what I'll do is I'll just select from sample so that I don't have to go through and fill them all in. But what Jill is referring to is when we press play, so you can put any content you want. You can make any book. And I'm actually running a session, I think next week, on DIY literacy resources, where we're really going to look at all this kind of stuff. But what Jill's talking about is I can click on talk about, and then we give a basic communication board so that we can talk about the book. Like, oh, I want you to turn the page.
Turn the page.
So things that people say while they're reading books, or this is sad, or it's boring.
Sad.
I like that picture. Read it to me. Then we can turn the page. So what Jill is asking is, she used to edit these, and you still can edit that. That's the default that we give you. But you can go in, if we scroll down here on the left-hand side, this is the pages panel. So there's lots of different pages to this book, and many of our templates will have multiple pages, or you can make it into a multiple page interactive activity. Right at the bottom, you see menus. So if I open that up, there we go. I have different menus where here I can choose to have a pop-up, or I can choose the communication board. Now I can edit this one. So if I want it to say different things, maybe I'm focusing on core words. So rather than it saying these, formulaic messages, I want it to say more and stop and like, and I just want to augment our conversation around the book with the core words that match my AAC system or match my communication book. So I can go in and I can edit any of these. And you can see, even though it's populated, all I'm doing is clicking and typing. I don't even have to press delete, sorry, just click, type, and then select which one you want. Now, when I press play, those are going to come up. But there's also this option of it bringing out symbols from the text on the page. And the way I do that is going into user settings. So let me go into No, I keep doing this. Activity settings. I've got a mental block about activity settings today. Sorry, activity settings. And then it's one of the things that's within the table that will pop up. It's saying, do I want my pop-up option to be the communication board, so the one I just edited, or the auto-generate symbols? So auto-generate, as it explains in the description, will create and show symbols for the words on the page. So I'm going to click save, and then I'm going to press play, and you'll see the difference. So now when I click on this, it's choosing, oh, it should have brought up more symbols. It usually brings up more. Let me close that. Let's go to another page. Okay. So it's saying, I love origami. It's not doing the best job at the moment with this. It should. There are ways that you can decide something's gone a bit funny with this template. Is this what you were experiencing, Jill?
Well, I hadn't actually worked out that I could change it to the symbols, but now you've shown me that. I'll have a play and I'll see whether it does as good a job as it did, because you wrote
Yep.
me a story and it brought up words that related to it, so you could say, tell me
Yep.
about the other, and they would then just click on them. So that's great that that's still there, because I was like a bit disappointed.
Yeah, no, of course. And there is a way that you can edit those symbols as well. So it's auto generating, and you can see that well, this one's not doing a good job. I don't know if that's a problem with the template or a problem with the sample. But also, if you have a preferred symbol for love, then there are ways to edit that and to choose exactly which one, because with auto generate, it will just do it with whatever the first choice is. So I think it's doing love. Is 0 love in tennis? I don't know why that's come up as a 0.
Yeah, I
But
think it's most interesting when I had headbutt, because somebody had nearly been headbutted by a cow. But hey, I'll mute myself again now before I get carried away and let you carry
that's
on.
fine, Jill. Thank you.
So I've got a couple more questions then.
Sure.
We've got one from Jill and one from Lynn. I'll do Lynn's because it's related
What would
to
you like to do now?
Okay,
the
go
pop.
for
I
it.
thought that was someone actually, one of the audience.
Sorry.
Yeah, Lynn is asking, can you reduce the number available in the pop-up?
That is a really good question. If I break it, it's all your fault, Jill. Let's see. I'm just going to click and delete. Oh, I know how I'm going to do it, actually. I'm going to click in this. So the whole pop-up, and see the layout here. That's the layout. This is currently at a 2x7. So if I want to change that, I just do it to 5. And there you go. That's how you change it. So it's clicking onto the pop-up itself and then choosing the grid size that you want. Or if I want to increase it, it will add more. Let's see, she says. There you go. And then you just have to put a button in to, it should auto snap to there. There you go. And then spray them down. So you
Okay,
can.
and Catherine was asking, I think from one of the early ones, can you change the voice so that the sound rather than the letter name is spoken for the matching?
Good question.
Can you play an audio from?
Yeah, it can. So let me go back to, yes, with that matching, with the table-based matching, 100%. There actually, I believe, was one of the columns was to put a sound in, to bring your own sound in. So let me go to this. Let's go to create, and let's go to the table. And you should be able to bring your own sounds in. Edit content. There you go. Item sound. So if I want to bring it, I can record a sound right into it, or I can browse sounds as well. So once I've recorded all my sounds, I don't have to go over and over them. When I record things, then you can save for later. And so give it a name so you don't have to constantly re-record things. So yes, you can absolutely bring sounds in that way. Good question. Was there anything else?
No, I think we're up to date with the questions now.
Fab. Great. Good questions, guys. So what I'm going to do now is, because I want to get through the rest of it, I'm just going to quickly go back and change my share, because I'm going to take us back to PowerPoint for a little bit while I explain a few more things. So let me go to share and share this one. Excellent. Okay. So we looked at the Boardmaker editor, where you're going to create things. And this is the same whether you have Boardmaker 7 as a standard license, so you've purchased it to put it on designated computers, or whether you have Boardmaker 7 as a subscriber, unlimited installations, you use a login to use it. So now we're going to talk a little bit about myBoardmaker. Now, myBoardmaker, this aspect is for subscribers only. So you do have to have a Boardmaker 7 subscription. Now, the cloud storage, I lie. You can have a myBoardmaker account if you do have standard for cloud storage to save your resources up to the cloud storage. So you can create your own free myBoardmaker account. If you have a Boardmaker 7 subscription, we create it for you. Both standard and subscribers can also look through the community. We have a big community of people using Boardmaker all around the world who are sharing their resources. which you can take a copy of, whether it's print or interactive, and make it your own in the editor. Now, from here on forward, you have to be a Boardmaker 7 subscriber to access curriculum. So this is interactive resources that are already made, like Core First Learning and Reading Avenue, where you can assign them to the accounts that you make. So Boardmaker 7 subscribers can make student accounts. So these are player accounts, if you will. You make these resources and you create accounts, which you are then going to assign to your students and collect data through myBoardmaker. See how they're doing. How many times did they try to connect S to the cat instead of sat? It'll collect that for you, and I'm going to show you. So now you can play your activities both as a standard and subscriber on the editor, as you saw me just do. We can press play in front of our learners, next to them on the same computer, or on an interactive whiteboard, regardless as to whether you're a standard Boardmaker 7 user or a subscriber. Now, subscribers can also assign to the student accounts that they've made, and the students access that through a free app called the Boardmaker Student Center. So this means besides us being, on the interactive whiteboard in our classroom or sitting next to our learners, we can assign it so that they've got mobile access, so they can access the resources that we have made on an iPad, on their home computer, on their dedicated device. So their resources move around with them regardless as to whether we're in the same room, same county, same country. It doesn't matter. You can do this all from a distance. And that is for Boardmaker Sub 7 subscribers only. So the Boardmaker Student Center is available on iPads, Windows, Mac, Chromebook, and Tobii Dynavox devices. It is an unlimited amount of downloads for your students. There is a free activity center, so we give you some activities to get started, but then you can also assign your personalized resources that you've made in the editor, as well as resources from the curricula, the ready-made Core First Learning and Reading Avenue. And all of this is accessible with eye gaze switch, mouse, and touch. So what I'm going to do now is get into the Boardmaker, myBoardmaker, show you how we create a student, and then get in the Student Center and show you how it gets played. So once again, sorry, last time, I'm just going to change my share over to here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to my Boardmaker account, because this is where I'm going to make my student account and then assign work to them. So I'm going to go right here and log in. For those of you who've been using Boardmaker online, you're going to use your same username and password details as you did previously. None of that changes. So I'm now in my account, and I can see my Boardmaker here. So this is syncing with my editor. You can see there's that CVC match that I made earlier. It's there because it took that from the editor and brought it up here so that I can assign it to my students. This little icon here are the students that I have within my caseload, and I can assign that to Molly. So let me show you how you make a student. Now, most of you are going to go to this button here and go to student management. I have an organizational admin account, so mine's a little bit different. Process is exactly the same. You will go to student management. I'm going to go here and show you exactly what you're going to see in that student management. So here I can see all the students that are a part of our organization account. Some of them have been made by John, some of them have been made by Alice, some have been made by me. These are all of my teams. So this could be your speech and language therapy team. It could be your school, all the people in your organization account. And what I'd like to do is add a new student. So I'm going to do that right now. So today was the 1st of December. So Elf on the Shelf joined the Voisey household. So I'm going to make a student called Elf. And I can use any. username or password that I like. This is completely up to you. It's arbitrary. If you are worried or don't want to use identifying information, you can create any kind of username and password that you want to. I can add a parent or carer email address here if I want to, and I'll show you why you might do that in a moment. Now I'm going to assign who can assign work to Elf. So that's me there. So I, of course, as Elf's classroom teacher, want to assign work to him. But then also John, as the occupational therapist at the school, has some access stuff that he's working on Elf with. So I'm going to give John access as well, because then John can make things in the editor that are very specific to working on the skills that that he's been focusing on. And I can continue to add more. I'm going to save and close. So now I have created a student. Okay. If you're going to create lots of students, you can bulk import. There's a template that you can fill in and you can do a bunch of students at one time. So that's found there for me. Most people, that's going to be found here in student management. So now I'll see Elf here. But what I also see here is information that Elf's parents need in order to support him using the Student Center at home. So what I can do if I had put Elf's parents' email address in, I can choose to tick here and send message, and Elf's parents will get a message that says, "We have set up a student center for your child. Here's everything you need to get them up and running." If I don't want to send an email, the other thing I can do, and this is new for any of you who did this in Boardmaker Online, they added this and I love it. It's so simple and straightforward, is I can click on this button here and that is going to generate a PDF for me as the teacher, which I can then open up. And now I'm going to get a page for all of my students. So this is for Molly. And I would print this off and put that in Molly's book bag or send that page of the PDF home to Molly's parents, which is saying, hey, we've set this up for Molly. Here's everything you need to know. You can use the QR code, which is going to take you quickly to download what the Student Center player on whatever platform you want to use it. Or if you prefer to go old school, just put in this URL and do it that way. And as I flip through these pages, you'll see that I've got one for every student. So there's Erica and there's Elf. So I can print those off. It's so straightforward, such an improvement from Boardmaker. Now, once we've done that and the parents have, or you as the carers or support staff have downloaded the Student Center on various devices, then I can go back in to my board maker and I can assign as much work as I want to ELF and other students. So I think this magical school chat would be very good for ELF. That, and I'm also going to give them this Christmas tree book that I made. And I would like Molly to have that too. Her, and I can go on and go forth and assign work to students.
I think you
Now,
just answered Lynn's question there, didn't you? That a student can access on more than one device, school device, home device, etc.
it's unlimited. It's unlimited. And all they need to do is click on the Student Center. Hold on here. Now, you will need the username and password when you first set them up. So I'm going to go here because I want to log out of Molly, and I want to log in as Elf. So I'm going to go in and say log in, and that's as a student. So I would put Elf's QR code if I had it there, or I can go in and say I would like to do this as a manual. So I just need my ID code, which if I had the handout there, I could copy. So that's there. So, and you only have to do this the first time you set up. You do not have to do this each time. Once I've connected it, it'll be in there. Something I did was wrong. Elf, and did I put pencil or did I do password? Let's see. There we go. So it's all logged in. And now we can see the work that I assigned to Elf is there. I need to download it. And once it's downloaded, I can go off line. I don't need to have a constant internet connection to access this. So now I can open this up, and Elf will have this talking little board.
More chocolate frogs. Let's see who's winning.
Now, Elf is not a Scottish woman. Elf has a different voice. So I'm going to go to settings, and I can choose text to speech here, and I can choose a different voice for Elf. So we can go through, I can choose from lots of additional voices. So you can go through and see lots of different voices here. Download whichever one I want. I'm just going to choose a different one. He's an American man. I can slow things down. I can choose some things that are specific to Elf, the way things are read out to him. I can also choose different access methods. And if I had a eye tracker, then I could use gaze interaction here for them as well. Now, the gaze interaction only works with the newer eye trackers. So on the i13, i16, and help me out, John.
PCI 5.
There you go. We do still have the older Boardmaker Student Center available.
Got the golden snitch.
For anyone who is using older generation trackers.
Meet in the Great Hall.
There you can hear that horrible voice.
Sip of butterbeer.
There we go. And that's going to speak. Okay, let's go to the story, and there we have it. So that is the Student Center, and I can put this on Elf's.
Today we pick a tree.
And you can see it read word by word because I had chosen that. Now we can put this on Elf's iPad. It can be on his home computer. It can be on his Indie, his 110, whatever. He can have access to this on as many devices as he likes. Now, lastly is tracking data. If I go back to my account as the teacher, I can go in to, again, that student management, and I can click on any of my students right there. So I'm going to look at Elf, and I can see the work that has been assigned to him. Oh, John just put an Elf journal in there. Well done, John.
Sorry, I was showing off.
So I had to refresh. Let's see.
You made me an instructor, so I couldn't resist.
What would you?
Let's put an Elf journal in. Hold on. So you can see it's updating. Now, John is in East Anglia. I'm in the southeast of Kent, and he just assigned something to Elf. So that's really cool. And all it does is refresh the next time we're on the internet. But I can also see here performance results. So here I can see now Elf doesn't have any wrong or rights in the activities that I gave them. But I can see that at this time he was looking at this book and spent about a minute. Let me see if I have another student that I can show you. I had a clean out of students recently. Let me see if Molly has any. It will show you when students do have wrong or right, how they performed. So this is sight words, all black and out. That's not going to give me one. Nope, sorry. It will show you whether a student has done wrong or right and how many attempts they've taken. So you can get some really good performance results. Sorry, with the refresh of the system, I got rid of some of my students. All right, we've got 2 minutes to go. Let me just wrap up. If anyone wants to stick around for questions, feel free to, but I do want to wrap this up for those of you that need to go. So I'm just going to go back to give you a little bit of information before we go off. There we go. So let's share. So we've looked at the Student Center. Now I'm going to send you a follow-up email. In the follow-up email will be lots of links to help get you started. I'm going to send you to our quick guide section on the Tobii Dynavox website. Under training and support, we've got a whole section for Boardmaker 7, which these that I've highlighted in red are specific to the session we had today. The interactive template guide, managing activities and creating student accounts. They're nice, clear step-by-step guides so that you can recreate what you saw today. If you'd like to learn more, you can also venture into a new area that our colleagues over in the US have developed over the last few months called the Learning Hub. In here, there's a lot more information you can dive into, including some on-demand courses. So if you want to go beyond just the technical and really take a look at some on-demand training, as well as there is some of the same documentation as you're going to find on the Tobii Dynavox support section. There's also video clips and a bit more. Do take a look at the Learning Hub. There's some really, really excellent content there that you can watch whenever you like. You can pause, walk away, come back to it 2 days later, and it will hold it into your account. If you have a myBoardmaker or my Tobii Dynavox account, you just sign in with that. And then lastly, lots more webinars coming up. So we've banked our webinars up to the end of January. The next one I'm doing for Boardmaker 7 is on DIY literacy resources. So if you want to learn more about making books and other things like that, we'll dive into that. We've got something on activities to go, which is some ready-made resources that come with Boardmaker 7 subscriptions, Reading Avenue, that's all on this side of Christmas, plus more if you're a Communicator 5 or Snap Core First or Gaze Viewer user. So we'll send you links so you can sign up to all of those. So thank you so much for your time and attention. Again, I'm Tina Voisey, Education Manager for the UK team, and I've been supported by John. We will give you links so you can find your local account managers, spend more time. We've got this great booking system. You just put in your postcode, it tells you who your local account manager is, and you can book an appointment, a virtual appointment right into their diary, spend some time looking at things in closer detail with them. All right, if anyone wants to stick around for questions, I'm happy to take them. I'm going to end the recording. Wish those of you that need to go a good evening and hope to see you again soon.